Has iPhone finally caught up to the competition? Now let's talk about this beautiful screen on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a 6.7-inch OLED screen which supports 1 Hz up to 120 Hz refresh rate with a peak brightness of 1600 nits HDR and up to 2000 nits outdoors. The iPhone 14 finally supports always on display and has done a very smart thing by turning the hated notch into a unique, interactive, dynamic island. I'm going to demonstrate this now by starting a voice recording. I'm going to swipe up and you can see it's now making use of that dynamic island. I can press it and it will return me back to the app, or I can hold it and I'll have more options to edit while it's being used by the notch. I'm going to show you how it also works with another app. So I'm going to start a timer on the clock. I'm going to swipe up and you can see now it's making use of that dynamic island. Two things are going on at the same time, which I can see straight from the dynamic island. Voice recording and the timer. Do you remember when I said the dynamic island was unique? Well, that was until an app quickly developed and released on Android their own version of Dynamic Island for free. Is it better? Click here to find out, or wait till the end of this video and check the link down below. However, on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the Dynamic Island works, is useful, and almost an introduction into multitasking on the iPhone. Now the cameras. iPhone 14 Pro Max has a 48 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 12 megapixel at 2x and 3x telephoto. It also has a 12 megapixel front camera. It can also record video at 4K up to 60 frames per second. It can record cinematic mode 4K HDR up to 30 frames per second, which takes some of the best images you will find today in a smartphone. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a very good battery, and with the A16 chip, the battery would definitely get you through a whole day. I only have to charge this phone once for 45 minutes before bed, and it will survive the whole night, the whole of the next day until nighttime again. If you want the easiest rules to follow to maintain an excellent battery health long term, which is proven, watch this video here or check the video later on the channel. Would I use the iPhone 14 Pro Max as my main driver? If I was someone who uses the phone mainly to ring, text, social media, business, normal home life usage, then yes. 100% great screen, great battery, and reliable high quality cameras. However, if you want a phone you can experiment with, push to the limits and overall have fun, then I will probably look for an Android. It only took Android a few weeks to copy Apple's innovative Dynamic Island. Is the iPhone 14 Pro Max worth it in 2022 going into 2023? That is difficult to answer, especially in today's climate. However, if you plan to hold on to the phone for a few years, yes. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is worth it and can easily hold its own for the next few years. If you got an iPhone 13, then I probably would wait. Reason why I say this is because I like to hold on to my phones for years until there is a good enough upgrade worthy of upgrading to. For example, I upgraded my S7 Edge Plus to a S21 Ultra, which to me was a worthy upgrade. If you want to see a video about potentially saving hundreds of pounds on a flagship phone, click here.